Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me on yet another episode of my build series for my trusty 2020 Nissan Patrol Safari Y61 VTEC Capsula, whatever the hell you want to call it. This is episode 3 in the build series, if I'm not wrong. If you've been with me so far, you know that I've done a cold air intake as my first mod, and I did a dyno tune, a custom dyno tune as my second mod, which really woke up the car. And I am now on route rather, to get my third performance mod, which I'm very excited about, probably more excited than I've been compared to all the other mods. What is it, you might ask? Well, it's going to be a giveaway in the title, most likely. I'm not one for clickbait, but I'm getting headers. So I'm going to be completing the holy trifecta combo for the Y61, which is essentially a cold air intake, long tube headers, and a tune to cap it all off. For those of you who saw my build series episode 2, you guys saw that my car dynoed at around 182 or 84 horsepower to the wheel. That was essentially a stock car minus a cold air intake, which probably added around 5 to 7 wheel horsepower, just because the original OEM intake is so restrictive. So from 184, I went to about 224, almost, maybe a bit less than that. Round about 40 wheel horsepower from a custom dyno tune, and I was ecstatic about it. I was very happy. I did not expect that kind of an increase, and I was very happy. And the butt dyno really showed the increase. There was almost 100 newton meters of torque when it increased, and I could feel it. And you could see my first drive reactions on that video. Do check it out. I'll put a link in the description if you stand. I'm going back to the same guys that did my tune, Lays Off Performance. No affiliation with them, but I've had a great experience with them so far with the original tune. The car drives absolutely as it should. In fact, I would go as far as to say that my fuel economy has actually improved, which is fucking amazing. And I got in touch with them and I said, guys, I really like the tune. The car's as it should be from the factory now. And I want to come back in for headers. And they said, come on over. Now, the only thing that will be different this time is I am not going to be sticking around for the entire time. It's going to take about 6 to 8 hours. I don't have that kind of time. I have a life, believe it or not. And I'm going to be dropping off the car. I'm going to be letting their mechanical team install the long tube headers. The design is a 6-in-1 design. From all the research that I've done so far, I believe that is probably the best design for this engine, for the TB48. Seems to deliver the most gains across the widest RPM range, which is kind of what you want. With that, they're also then going to be doing another run on the dyno for this car. They're going to be playing around with everything they play around with. And I am hoping, fingers crossed, that we will reach somewhere between 260 to 280 wheel horsepower. I would be pretty happy if it touches 260, and I would be absolutely over the moon if we get to 280 wheel horsepower. I have also been told by these guys that whenever you're tuning the engine and you're trying to maximize your horsepower gains, obviously the health of the engine matters a lot, but so does, kind of oil you're running, your spark plugs, your injectors, all of that good stuff. I still believe I'm on the original spark plugs, so maybe sometime in the future when I replace them, I'll get even more of a bump. But let's see. Oh, and final point to mention is that I am running 98 RON fuel. That's 93 octane for you guys in the US, which is essentially your super premium fuel over here that gives me that extra 5 horsepower, right? Because I guess I'm just in it to maximize horsepower. I'm a numbers queen. So yeah, guys, stick around. We'll come back in when we're closer to the place. I'll just be dropping off the car, and the next time that you'll see me will be later on in the evening, hopefully when everything is done and dusted, and I will be giving you my pure, unadulterated thoughts, first time reaction with the extra power, and to really let you know if it made a difference, and most importantly, does it feel like it made a difference. With that being said, see you in a couple of hours. Peace. Hello! Fast forward many weeks, and I'm back. What a way to pick up this video from where we last stopped. It's been a while. It really has been a while. Unfortunately, I was unsuccessful in my attempts to record an immediate reaction following the installation of the catless long tube headers and the retune. Life happens, pretty big life milestones have occurred for me for the past several weeks, and I've unfortunately been able to do that. I do remember doing kind of a one-take recording a day or so afterwards, but unfortunately there's something wrong with the video and I couldn't do anything about it. So in any case, time to make a lemonade out of these lemons, right? So the good news is that I have now been driving this car with the aforementioned modifications for a while now. And I have a good sense of both the performance differences, but also what it means like to live life and spend your day-to-day with these modifications. So I'm actually now able to give you a much better outlook and some deeper insights on what this feels like if you are to be, if you're considering doing these modifications and plan on dailying this car. So right off the bat, the numbers please. So with the installation of the catless long tube headers, a 6-in-1 design as I mentioned previously, and a custom dyno retune, we were able to get 252 wheel horsepower and about 412 Newton meters of torque. So that's about an additional 30 wheel horsepower over and 30 Newton meters of torque over a stage 1 tune and a cold air intake. And there's a nice meaty plateau between 3.5 to 4,000 RPM, which is very interesting. The guys did a very good job in terms of having it be a smooth, workable graph. So all in all, pretty impressed with the gains. And yeah, I mean, I was hoping for a little bit more. I did end up getting this car serviced a few weeks after the tune, just because it was due for one. And the guys doing the servicing told me that all of my spark plugs needed to be changed. So I suspect that with a fresh set of spark plugs, you know, maybe 260? Who knows, right? Maybe. Well, in any case, I'm pretty stoked because now we're at 252 wheel horsepower. We're looking at essentially a baseline of about 180. All right, so how does the car feel? Well, hopefully we'll get some space and I'll show you exactly how it feels. But the short sort of version of all of it is that it feels noticeably faster, more responsive, and just more eager to move than it did even compared to the stage 1 tune. It's a completely different animal compared to a stock TB48, but even compared to the stage 1, which was at 221, it feels a lot peppier than the additional 30 wheel horsepower would suggest. In terms of cons, there is a vibration that happens almost exactly at 3,000 RPM. It's like clockwork. It's almost as if there's a frequency, a sound frequency that resonates within the exhaust and causes this weird tinny vibration kind of sound. I did take it back to those guys. They had a look at it. They told me it was normal. They suspect that because the rest of my exhaust essentially from the downpipe back is stock, that there is a little bit of a shimmying kind of vibration that's happening around 3000 RPM. They suspect that once I upgrade to a freer flowing catback exhaust, that it should go away. I'm just gonna shut up and downshift. So throatier, definitely throatier. It sounds very nice under decel. There's that little vibration that I was talking about. I don't know if you could pick it up in the mic. It's definitely there. I'm used to it now. It was a bit annoying when I first picked up the car, but definitely one that I have become used to. Let's maybe try doing a little third gear pull right around 3 to 3.5, which is when peak power essentially kicks in. It's a bit crowded, unfortunately. Winter months, but still a working day. Not for me though. I mean, look, it's still not a fast car, but it is way faster than a stock VTEC or VTC. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a no-nonsense, no-frills performance upgrade to bring your TB48, really, if I'm honest with you, to the level where it should be from the factory, then just get a cold air intake, some catless long tube headers, and a custom dyno tune. And you'll be very, very happy that you did that. I'm gonna try downshifting to third again. Fun. So that's all I have to say about that, to be honest. Performance A+, bang for buck A+. Beyond this, if you want to really put in a noticeable increase in performance, turbo kit, boost that baby, boost it, and you'll be happy. Here's the kicker. So it's less refined, as you expect, removing the cats. It's not that much louder though. It is definitely not obnoxiously loud because I have the rest of the exhaust bone stock. So if you're worried about sound with catless long tube headers and if the rest of your exhaust is stock, do not be worried. It is perfectly acceptable. Your significant other may not even notice that you've put in an exhaust. In fact, it's so less of a difference that I must admit that I am tempted to get a catback exhaust. I might get a custom setup though, because I may want to put in some additional resonators and mufflers to keep the sound manageable. With that being said, thank you all once again for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe. This is now the third video in my Safari build series. Again, unless I change my mind about the exhaust, I think I'll probably be taking a bit of a break from a performance perspective. And the next videos will likely be focusing on lighting, accessories, wheels, tires, and potentially suspension. So with that being said, thank you very much, and see you on the next one. Peace.